Today always makes me think about DC Day. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. How are you? How's your Monday? May 1st, May Day, 1st of May. And then there was the saying that DC Day used to say, and I thought she made it up for the longest time. I didn't know it was a song. 1st of May, outdoor starts today.
'Cause it's the 1st of May, outdoor starts today. So bring your favorite lady, or at least your favorite thing.
Yeah. She would say that to me every May 1st, and I would just crack up and laugh. And I know I'm not the only one who's heard of it because I just got this phone call. Rock 107.
1st of May, outdoor starts today.
Now, where did you hear that, though?
I heard it years ago from when I was a kid. The old men at the Knights of Columbus and all the fire companies that my dad used to drag me to, you know, and one of the guys just said it was the 1st of May, and he said, 1st of May, outdoor starts today.
But there's another side to that coin, limerically, right? There's another limerick that goes with it.
And that was one about when it gets too cold to do it outside.
All right.
And it was, when the frost is on the pumpkin, that's no time
for outdoor humping.
Yeah, something like that. So they actually had sayings for the one for 1st of May. That was the start of the outdoor sex season.
Wow.
And then at the end, when the frost is on the pumpkin,
that's it.
That's it. That's from way back in the old days.
Well, you are a sick woman.
Well, I see it's my environment. It's not me.
Have you ever heard of this? We're not nuts, right?
Breaking the news that's already broken. It's time for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
A Los Angeles man has been charged with practicing medicine without a license. Patients first became suspicious when they realized the magazines in his waiting room were totally up to date. Clothing and phones topped Uber's annual list of most commonly forgotten items by riders. Not to be confused with the top item forgotten by Uber drivers, deodorant. Joe Namath says Aaron Rodgers will get the Jets back to the Super Bowl. Other Jets legends have yet to weigh in because there are none.
Prospector ruins everything, even the news. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107. Tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
A 44-year-old in the United Kingdom named Lucy Humphrey recently received a new kidney thanks to her dog. She's been waiting for a donor for 5 years, and last year she actually had to cancel a vacation for health reasons, so she took her dogs to the beach instead. Well, one of the dogs kept running up to a random woman named Katie James, who was sitting in a chair knitting. Turns out she just signed up to be a kidney donor. The surgery happened in October, and both are doing great.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
This is nuts and more. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. The newest thing that's got social media blushing, a photographer in Canada posted photos of an iceberg floating off the coast of Newfoundland. And people are loving it because it's shaped exactly, and I mean exactly, like a guy's junk. The photographer spotted it sticking straight up out of the water last Thursday, and it had a base on each side. So, you know, the whole package. And the photo itself is pretty funny, but the details are why it's really blowing up online. If you want to check out the photo, I've put a picture of it up on my Facebook, facebook.com/angryprospector for you to check out. It was spotted off the east coast of Newfoundland in a spot called Conception Bay, and the photographer happens to be from a town nearby called Dildo. I'm not making any of that up. It's become quite the attraction, and I have the audio from the iceberg boat tour.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome aboard the Johnson Tour Boat, now leaving Conception Bay near the town of Dildo. And if you look over to the starboard side, you'll see a truly massive iceberg. I'm sure you'll marvel at its impressive shape and size. You'll have to admit, it's going to be hard to beat. Although I did hear a woman on the last tour saying she's seen bigger. Now we're going to have to speed up to get ahead of it, because we don't want the tip to fall off. That would be bone-chilling. It's just a matter of time until it loses its rigidity and experiences shrinkage because of the cold water. Thanks for riding the Johnson Tour Boat. I'm your guide, Pat McGroin.
What's a Yambag? A fool, an idiot, a blockhead, a dunce, or an ignoramus. You know, a dullard, simpleton, or a clot, nitwit, dipstick, pea-brain, mouth breather, or cretin.
It's now time to announce the winner of Prospector's Yambag of the day, as decided by you at rock107.com.
Here are the nominees. Nominee number 1.
This is a good reason for a 5-year-old to throw a tantrum, not an adult. A 19-year-old woman was arrested at a Phoenix airport on Tuesday last week for attacking 3 TSA agents because they wouldn't let her keep her apple juice. Her name is Micaiah Coleman, and she was going through security around 6 a.m. when they apparently seized the juice due to the policy on liquids. Well, she flipped out, walked around a barrier to grab the bin with all her stuff in it, but they wouldn't let her, so she jumped on a table, hit a TSA agent in the head, and ripped his shirt. When they tried to restrain her, she punched a female TSA agent and yanked her ponytail. Then she bit a third agent who tried to stop her. 2 agents ended up in the hospital, and 450 passengers were inconvenienced. Everyone had to go to a different checkpoint and line up all over again. Micaiah is facing charges for assault, criminal damage, disorderly conduct, and might be looking at fines too. You can get hit with up to $14,000 in fines for abusing a TSA agent.
Nominee number 2.
If you invest in a security system, you probably shouldn't ignore it. In the early hours of April 8th, a Chicago man named Don Owens decided to break into a family home in Lincoln Park while they were sound asleep. According to prosecutors, Owens climbed over the back fence, removed a sliding glass door, and stole a fanny pack and car keys from the house. He then drove away with the family's SUV, feeling pretty good about his successful heist. Now, as luck would have it, Owens wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Just 3 hours later, he was pulled over by police in a suburban town of Wheeling for DUI investigation. And what was he driving, you asked? Oh, you know what he was driving. The stolen SUV. Cops impounded the car and found the stolen fanny pack inside, which contained the homeowner's credit cards and passport. The victim reported the car stolen several hours after the break-in. The homeowner initially thought his burglar alarm was malfunctioning and ignored it, but thanks to Owens' lack of common sense, the police were able to recover his stolen items and bring the burglar to justice.
And the winner is...
the guy who broke into the house, stole the homeowner's SUV, and then was caught hours later driving that same SUV drunk. You are the Yambag of the day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yambag of the Week competition. Keep it here for all the nominees for Prospector's Yambag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Cuts Podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app. A free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.